Boss, I really want to paint a scenario for you, a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you have a startup, right? You have absolutely no revenue. You have no clients, but you only have cost. You've been struggling right now. You're chasing the first deal, the first sale. And in the meantime, you're looking for a startup business credit card using EIN only at that. Not just a startup business credit card, but you don't want to have personal guarantee that comes with a card. How do you get one? How do you get a high limit credit card? This is what I want to talk to you in today's conversation. So let me first give you an overview. When we talk about getting a startup business credit card with EIN only, there are a few myths that I really want to bust in today's conversation. And the first one is you have to make sure that your business is legit. Because a lot of people believe they have a business, but when you really dig deeper, you realize they don't have a business. They have a business only on paper, right? They have no actual business. They haven't taken the steps necessary in terms of compliance, in terms of regulatory compliance, that is, to make sure that the business is legit. So make sure you have a legit business. If you are looking for EIN only, an EIN only business credit card for your startups must be legit. I'm talking about you having an EIN, an employer identification number from the IRS. You having an EIN confirmation letter. So you can apply for an EIN on the internet. You go to the IRS's website. You get your EIN in 5-10 minutes maximum. Pretty easy. But then the IRS will send you a letter afterwards to confirm the transaction that happened online. You got to have your articles of incorporation or organization depending on the structure that you choose. Okay, if you're an LLC, it will be organization, articles of organization. If you're a C Corp or an S Corp, it will be articles of incorporation. Make sure you have your certificate of good standing. Make sure you have a business address. Make sure you have a business bank account. Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you have financial projections. It doesn't matter if you're not generating any revenue right now. You can still have projections. You can still have a dream. You can still dream, boss. Think about having your business licenses and permits. So everything I told you, if you don't have those, don't even think about getting a startup business credit card with EIN only. Okay, that's just the basics. Now let me give you the steps I want you to follow right now if you are trying to get an EIN only business credit card for your startups. The first thing you have to do here is to check your credit scores. I know you might think this is a dichotomy. There's a contradiction. We're talking about EIN only, but then you telling me I have to check my personal credit scores. Doesn't make sense. It does make sense. You know why? Because even though the lender will approve you with EIN only, some lenders, especially if you are in a very, I would say, in a sector, in an economic sector that has a downward sort of a trajectory. In other words, things are kind of difficult in your sector. The lender will still approve you with EIN only, but they still want to check to make sure that you are quote unquote less risky on the personal level. That's where we have seen this in many transactions in the last 9 to 10 years, 12 years that is. Okay. And when they do this, they call it a hybrid business credit card application, a hybrid. In other words, they will do a little bit of EIN, a little bit of FICO score, but they're not attaching a personal guarantee requirement to the credit card application. In other words, they will still approve you. They will look at your FICO score, but they will actually waive the PG requirement. We've done this last month with Chase. We did this a few months ago with Bank of America. So this is something that really happens, okay? By the way, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate having you here. And so just want to go back to what I was saying. You need to check your credit scores to make sure that your credit score is not really that bad, okay? And when we talk about credit scores, we're also talking about your personal credit scores, but also your business credit scores. As the Wall Street Journal always says, your business credit score is a reflection of your personal credit score. This is a direct quote, okay? So your business credit scores, even if you're a startup, you can still have a preliminary Dun & Bradstreet Paydesk score. This is why we tell our clients, and we tell you who are listening to me right now, if you are a startup owner and you're thinking about getting a startup business credit card with EIN only, I want you to register right now with Dun & Bradstreet, with Equifax business, with Experian business. And for Dun & Bradstreet is the most important one, because you will be able to have a DUNS number. You need to have a DUNS number, a DUNS number, that will help you later on in your when it comes to business credit in general. The second thing you need to do, so the first thing, you need to check your business and personal credit scores. The second thing I want you to do right now, boss, is to itemize your last 3 months of purchases. See, the whole thing here is that when we are trying to get a startup business credit card with EIN only, and we have no revenue, we have no clients, we only have cost. We do have cost. So we do have expenses. We do have purchases. So it's really important to actually move to itemize those expenses. My question to you is, boss, son, daughter, father, mother, mom, dad, grandpa, grandmother. You are a startup owner. My question to you is, what kinds of category are you going to spend more in the last 3 to 4 months or last 6 months? Talk to me about that, because the whole thing here is that, depending on the business expense category that you will be spending, that you will be actually charging more on the card that you want to get approved for, you might want to go for a specific card. Okay, let me give you an example. If you are looking for a travel, if you spend a lot of cash on travel, in other words, your startup is going to make you travel a lot, then maybe you want to look for a credit card, a business credit card that provides travel benefits. If you are going to spend a lot of cash on gas, then you know the deal, you know the drill. You will look for a card that provides gas rewards, right? Restaurants, office supplies. So the whole thing here is that when we talk about itemizing, we're looking at 3 things. There are 3 things I want you to think about when you itemize. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to get a startup business credit cards with EIN only when you have absolutely no revenue, no clients, and only cost. So here there are 3 things I want you to think about when you itemize your expenses. Number 1, you got to look at the amount. Number 2, you got to look at the category of those expenses. And number 3, you want to look at the frequency of those expenses. How often do you need to incur those costs? Okay, how much, and in what category? So this is the trifecta that will help you out. This is really important. Step number 3, boss. You got to find a card that really meets your company's needs. Because your startup is in a specific category, okay? And your startup is in a specific sector, maybe based on the geography and whatnot. And as the Small Business Administration always says, your business funding requirements are in direct correlation with your needs. Again, this is a direct quote. The SBA has come out not long ago. They came out with a directive that sort of explains to lenders, hey, listen, if you have to provide loans, business loans and whatnot, and lines of credit and whatnot, make sure that those loans are in sync with the company's needs. Okay. And so if we were to come back to our credit card conversation, you need to find a card that meets your startup needs. So are you looking for a card that allows you to have an intro 0% APR? So if you're looking for a card that will help you do a balance transfer, or a card that will allow you to, let's say you have a big purchase, right? And the big purchase is coming and you're just trying to save some cash. You're trying to save cash on the APR. You want to have a 0% APR for 9 months, for example. So you can just acquire that piece of machinery or piece of equipment. You get that into the company's, into your, location, and not pay anything. That's a smart strategy. Okay. So when we talk about find a card that meets your company's needs, you have to think about your business size also. And are you traveling a lot? If you travel a lot, then you want to have a card that offers travel points a card that does not charge you a foreign transaction fee, okay? Or maybe you want a card that actually grants you a welcome bonus. So whatever it is, you have to think about, if you're a single member LLC, for example, you have to think about whatever business credit card fits your lifestyle. Lifestyle, not only in terms of your lifestyle as a business person, but also your lifestyle as an individual. Okay, so everything must be customized. Even if we are talking about a startup business credit card here. If you're a single member LLC, for example, you are sort of intertwined with, so your personal affairs are sort of intertwined with your business affairs. Okay, that's why the IRS looks at the single member LLCs as a disregarded entity. That's how they actually look at a single member LLC, a disregarded entity. And for all intents and purposes, as far as the IRS is concerned, you are basically going to file your Form 1040. You're not going to file. You're not going to file Form 1065, even if you are a single member LLC. So the point I'm trying to make here is what I'm trying to tell you, that you need to find a card that meets your company's needs, and also make sure that the card reports to credit bureaus, because the thing is, you also want to you will want to build credit in the meantime too, right? This is important, because the bottom line is, you're not just getting a startup business credit card just because you want to use the card for your purchases. That's part of it too. Yeah, you want to rack up some rewards, but you still also you would be willing to build credit. One thing I want you to do, and that's the number 4, you need to predict and plan usage. So when we talk about predicting and planning usage, we're talking, by the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm still having a conversation with you about how to get a startup business credit card with EIN only, especially when you have no revenue, no clients, and only cost. Okay, you got to predict and plan usage. Like, you have to really ask yourself, and I want you to write down on a piece of paper, how do you plan exactly? How do you plan to use your business credit card? Because the whole thing is that, I mean, you probably know right now. I'm sure you know. Are you going to book flights? Are you going to pay for hotels? Are you going to use it to rent cars at the airports? Are you going to use it to get taxis, to get office supplies and whatnot? So you have to have a clear idea how you are going to use the card even before you get it. Okay, and it's really important to understand that when we think about expenses, we got to think about the number of employees the cards will be issued to as well. So if you are a startup and you have multiple employees, and you want the credit card issuer to issue different credit cards, employee cards to those staff members, you have to think about how the aggregate cost comes up to, what the final amount is. Okay, so, and this is what we call aggregation in terms of expense management. This is really important. This will help you have a low DTI, a low CUR down the road. Okay, so you want to have that. So also, now let me ask you a question. Credit cards. When we talk about predicting card usage, that's easy. Can you plan your card usage? In other words, do you have a calendar that says, listen, this month I'm going to spend $1,000. Next month I'm going to spend $1,500. The month after I'm spending $2,000 or $3,000, and so on and so forth. Do you have a budgetary calendar that can actually tell you exactly how much you plan on spending on the card? If not, this could be a great opportunity to invest time and research in this kind of exercise. It will help you a lot down the road. Okay, it will help you also in terms of being approved, because you will present to the credit card issuer a very clear path when it comes to expense management, when it comes to financial stability. So this is really good. Next thing I want you to do here is I want you to do some math on the annual fees. Okay, and this is one thing that a lot of startup owners they underestimate. And when we say this, I know that some viewers will say, well, why do I care about annual fees? Well, annual fees are not a biggie, but when you start thinking about an American Express credit card where you have annual fees that is like $6.95, then we're talking some money here. And this is because a lot of startups don't have the money to spend in the first place. Because if you had a startup, if you had an American Express credit card, an American Express business credit card that charges you $6.95 in annual fees, you're gonna have to spend a lot of cash to be able to recoup those expenses. In other words, to get the cash back, that will help you recoup those expenses, offset those expenses. And if you are an average startup, chances are you don't have that cash. You don't have the cash yet. Okay. And so you have to do the math on annual fees. Are they interested? Because a lot of business credit cards, they advertise sometimes on the annual fee sort of feature. Like, yeah, no annual fee, or they talk about, well, we have 3% cash back or 5% cash back and whatnot, trying to confuse the hell out of you. So the question is, how do you actually, clarify everything out of this noise, really? Well, a very easy way to do this is to sit down and write down the things that are important for you. My question to you is, boss, money, 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 money. What are the 3 most important expense categories that your startup is going to have in the next 3 months? Talk to me about that. And I want you to write those down. Okay? What are the 3 most important expense categories? Number 2, how much do you plan on spending in those 3 expense categories? And number 3, what are the rewards, that is cash back, travel, etc., that are linked to those 3 categories? That's all you need to do. When we talk about doing the math on annual fees, it could be other fees too, not just the annual fees. It could be a balance transfer fee. It could be a lot of fees, okay? But you have to do the math. You have to do the math. Step number 6. You got to take note of the rewards program, okay? Now, you're not applying for a startup business credit card with EIN only, so you can just enjoy the rewards program. But hey, listen, it's there, so you might as well just take advantage of it, okay? And when we talk about the rewards program, it really depends on the solidity of the card. It depends whether we have a premium startup business credit card with EIN only, or we just have a regular one, okay? And so the thing is, a rewards program might include things like bonus points on an eligible purchase, cash rewards, extended warranties, canceled flight insurance, free or discounted car rentals, cell phone replacement of lost luggage, airport premium lounge access, concierge services, credit score monitoring, access to VIP areas at events or museums. You have membership rewards such as to streaming services or premium level accounts. So the whole thing here is that which ones of those which rewards in this list appeal the most to you, okay? You're gonna have to think about that. It's something you're gonna have to think about. When I say take note of the rewards program, you gotta ask yourself, how can I actually leverage this in my business, in my purchases? Okay. And one thing I also want you to think about here is that the rewards are dynamic. Some rewards are dynamic, some rewards are static. The question is the specific credit cards that you are after. Is it dynamic? Does he have a dynamic set of rewards, or does he have a static set of rewards? I mean, not actually saying that one is better than the other, but it's just better to know the nature of the beast, so to speak. Okay, it's a lot better to know that, okay, I'm going to deal with a business credit card for my startup using EIN only, but the rewards are static, or the rewards are, they change all the time. They're dynamic, based on the promo from the credit card issuer. So those are things I would just want you to really think about. And but the list I just gave you is a non-exhaustive list. You have gazillions of benefits that come with other credit cards. So now let me just share with you, how do you actually apply for a startup business credit card using EIN only? No revenue, no clients, but just cost. How do you actually do it step by step? I have actually covered this on other shows, so I'm not going to spend too much time in this section here. One thing I just want to say here is that have a legit business, okay, and make sure that you have a business plan. Everything starts with a business plan. We see this all the time, and people, some viewers say, well, a business plan is important, but how is that going to help me get a startup business credit card with EIN only? And my answer to this is everything. A business plan that featured a business plan that features pretty clear financial projections is going to give you the business credit card using EIN only that you need and deserve anyway. Okay, the reason why you're not getting a no PG business credit card for your startup is because you haven't done the business plan part. You have not proven to the lender to the credit card issuer for that matter, that your startup is a legit and viable business. And in accounting and business, by the way, there is a concept called going concern. In other words, and you see this a lot when it comes to auditing. And so going concern just means that, hey, listen, is your startup going to be around 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now? Okay, so the ability to survive market ups and downs, those are really important. So you got to have a business plan. Make sure that your business is legit. Make sure you have financial projections, and apply for the startup business credit card with EIN only. I want you to apply at a branch. Do not apply, because you're going to have to apply for this card. You're going to have to apply at a regular bank. Don't apply online or over the phone. This will be a waste of time, a waste of money, and never do that. Okay, so take your time to do the research, but when you're ready, just go to a branch and have a conversation with someone over there and explain to them what you want. And sometimes this may be a series of conversations. It wouldn't be just a one-time thing. You just give them a call and they just hey, hello, it's me, I just want to have an EIN only business credit card, and they just give it to you. No, it takes time. The credit card issuer will do their due diligence to make sure that your startup is legit but also viable. Okay, so this is important. And but overall, yeah. Before I close to this conversation, let me give you a few pro tips, okay? And the thing here is that if you're thinking about having a startup business credit card with EIN only, don't forget that you do have some options in terms of Visa versus MasterCard, right? You can choose that. I mean, you can even choose an American Express credit card for your startup. Back in the days, we used to have a Discover business credit card, but they actually they took that away. I don't know why, but I guess it wasn't profitable for them, or was not in alignment with their new strategy. But what I want to say here is that, when we talk about EIN only startup business credit card, those are really good, not just for you in terms of for your EIN to kind of help your startup build business credit, but it also helps you shield your personal assets from any problem. Something happens, you are covered. Okay, you want to have you don't want to risk any personal guarantee here. That's number one, and that's number two. Number one is building business credit. Number two is shielding your personal assets. Number three is you really have a way to manage your business properly. Okay, you're able to account. You have access to extra cash, so this is extra liquidity. That's really important. Number four, you also have the ability to report on your business expenses come year end, because a business credit card has that ability to provide a lot of features that can help you run your business more smoothly. Okay, so you want to look for a business credit card systematically and reflexively. And one thing I also want to say here is that you really want to make sure that you look for the rewards that can help bring your business to the next level. Okay, and you can do that, but always apply at a branch. Apply at a branch. Go to a branch. Have a conversation with someone. Sit down. Have a business plan with you. Have financial projections with you. And you want to prepare. This is kind of similar to a job interview. Okay, and it's all about impressing the rep that you speak to, so that they in turn can talk to their people, and you could be approved. You know, the funny thing is people will be like, well, this is not how things works. This is how they work. This is how they work. If you are a startup and you are looking for a business credit card and you want EIN only, you're going to have to apply with the bank where you are currently at, and you are going to try to work out the existing relationship that you have with the bank, and use that relationship, parlay that relationship into something bigger, so that the bank can grant you the business credit cards that you need and deserve. Okay. Thank you. I'll talk to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.